Thrasher and Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Accusations of black magic, demons arise from hell. Satan's mirrored gates to fear.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm here with our next guest who has some killer music that we're going to talk about. After my own heart, some of the genres that their influences are. So let's welcome to the show, Gravewitch. How are you?
We're doing great, man. Thanks for having us. We're stoked to be talking to you.
Oh, stoked to have you here. And I got to say, I never talk really about band names, but what I do want to say is, how the hell did you get that name? Because that is a cool-ass name, and it's so hard to get names these days for bands. You know?
Well, we started a band back when we were in high school. We were sophomores in high school, and what I did is I made two columns on a sheet of paper with just a bunch of different words. And I decided to take one word from this column and one from that column and just match them up together. And it ended up with grave and witch. And once we found that, we're like, hey, that's the name.
I'm just surprised nobody took it before you.
Same here, seriously.
I'm from the original thrash and death and black metal days, and that name should have came up then. I don't even know how it didn't.
Yeah, for sure.
It's perfect. And so I want to know for both of you, what was that moment in time that really this type of music grabbed you and grabbed your soul and said, this is what I need to do?
Oh man, that would probably be around the time Chris showed me Metallica, Slayer, the Big Four, and then shortly after that, it would be really have grabbed our souls and be like, this is what we need to do. When we discovered bands like Testament, Kreator, Sodom, etc. There's a huge list. It just keeps going.
Yeah, it was more so we got into the more extreme heavier metal after listening to the Big Fours when we decided that we wanted to be in a band and play extreme metal. So
nice. You know, I always love seeing how bands or people throughout time since the beginning of the whole thrash, death, and black metal scene, how they became into that music. Like for us, I was at Slayer and Metallica's first show ever. So I was there before thrash was even a word, and I'm a total thrash metalhead. But we needed something before that led us to that. So, it started with me stealing my brother's albums that was 11 years older than me, all the 60s and the hippie crap, and then which I like still to this day. And then it went from that to the British invasion, like the Maidens and the Priests and stuff that.
Definitely.
And then you got bands like, Metallica and Slayer. And it just blows my mind that these genres are this big today, because there were a handful of us, and we didn't want anybody else liking our music either. The 80s was the master of gatekeeping. You couldn't even, I liked punk music, but because I had long hair, I couldn't go to punk shows because you got your ass beat. It was stupid.
That's crazy.
It was so stupid. And even the fact of, funny story for you that you might have seen, it's but when Slayer first left LA and went up to the Bay Area, they used to wear the black eyeliner to look, and that was the evil look in the 80s. And bands like Exodus and Testament and them, they were like, yeah, that shit don't fly up here in the Bay Area. Take that shit off. So it's so funny. That's how it was. And then I go and I do coverage at festivals nowadays, and it's we can all be one big family, which is what we should have been to begin with. All metalheads, all rockers, all punkers. We're all of the same cloth. So I love bands like you that are uniting us all together too, because you're even blending genres that we might not have blended back then, because they were so separate and so new. And, it's like, no, it can only be black metal. No, it can only be death metal. No, it can only be thrash, until the whole crossover thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So how you guys feel about that? Like that you're in this age now where like you can just play whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's no filter. It's awesome. There's nobody telling us what to do, what not to do. We have total freedom writing whatever we want, and it's awesome.
It's also really hard for us to write in one genre. We have so many different influences of metal that we like and why we like to play that we don't like to be monotonous, We like to change it up and add things here and there and try to make something a little different than maybe what people have heard before to the best of our ability.
Yeah, we're not trying to be that typical Blackened Thrash Metal band, you know what I mean?
Right. I love that.
Every song kind of sounds the same, we try to stay away from that. Try to be a little more like put ourselves out there in a different way,
I love that you do that too, because so back in the day, everybody used to say, like, when you like metal, oh, it all sounds the same, and it didn't. Like, you take the big four, they don't sound the same at all. There's a base foundation maybe, but you could separate them into different genres realistically. And nowadays, it's really weird to me that metal bands, I find metalcore is the biggest offender of it, that they follow this like formula, like they're doing an algebraic equation to make metal. And that was never the case. Like, metal started by mistake, basically, and experimentation and all that. So I love bands like you that are doing it differently and doing it unique, because it is true. Even me nowadays, I used to say, no, they don't sound the same. But nowadays I'm like, I can't even tell the difference between some of these bands, because they're all using this formula. Like, metal isn't a formula. Like, there was no formula. That's why, like, Metallica originally was considered power metal because they didn't know what to call them.
I did not know that, actually, but it does make sense. Yeah.
Well, you know how I knew that? Because I was at that first show and I met Dave Mustaine, and he handed me his business card, and it said on it, Metallica power metal, Dave Mustaine.
Oh, whoa,
that's crazy.
Like, and because there was no thrash, but they were thrash. Just nobody knew what it was yet.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know how the record labels, they all like to put you in this like box, it's like you have to be this genre. You can't like play different things. And I think that's stupid. To me, as an artist, I would be bored to death if I was playing the same riffs, the same chords, the same drum beats, the same everything all the time. Like, you can't, like, why would I want to sing the same song over all the time? Why would I want to play the same song, especially if you have longevity? Now you're playing the same song basically for 20 years, but they're different songs.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why we try to stay away from that. It keeps it a little more interesting.
Especially for ourselves, writing the music and doing everything behind the scenes, It all takes time, and it gets boring doing the same thing over and over again, for sure.
No doubt. Like, and even Ollie from Bring Me to Horizon said one time in an interview, when they were giving him so much grief about the newest Bring Me to Horizon music, he's like, hey, why do I want to write the same song over and over again? And I get it. Like, I might have been somebody way back when that would have given hate to them for not sticking to their, their base deathcore. But now that I'm an adult, I realize, like, holy shit, now I know what bands go through. Like, even like James, like, he talks about how Seek and Destroy is played at the San Jose Shark games, but he complains, not really complain, but he's like, I don't get why they play the original version. I didn't know how to fucking sing. I redid it now that I know how to sing. That's the better version. But it and that's how an artist would think, whereas probably somebody like me be like, no, I kind of liked your voice before you knew how to sing, but you have to grow as an artist, right? And
Yeah.
that doesn't come from doing the same thing. You got to experiment and go outside your own box, much less the box everybody else gives you.
Yep.
Exactly, man.
So how did you guys meet, and how do you know that you were like meant to play music together?
Oh man, well, we met back in the 2nd and 3rd grade in elementary school.
Wow.
Yeah, and we've been best friends ever since. Brothers.
That is cool as shit.
Started Gravewitch when we were sophomores in high school. I was in 2 other bands during like the beginning of high school. Didn't end up working out, and then me and Andrew got back together and decided to make Gravewitch because I wanted to start playing more thrash metal, black metal, and whatnot. Because my other bands were more like punk. One of them was kind of like stoner metal, kind of like Black Sabbath, a little bit Electric Wizard style.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to get into the extreme stuff, so we got together and just ended up creating Gravewitch, and have been doing it ever since. I think we started in
2013 in November.
Yeah.
And we've been going strong ever since, and we're never going to give up, never going to quit. This is our life.
Nice.
We have our sights set.
Well, that's like when people say to me, I used to like metal, and I'm like, then you never liked metal. There's no metalhead that says they used to like metal,
No.
And being best friends, I think that's so important, because like it's got to be hell to be in a band with people that you're not best friends with. Like even that you're friends with, there's friends I have that I can only tolerate in certain doses, like, so being on a bus together and wanting to kill each other, I don't think would be good. You have to be best friends.
Way.
It's like bands it's like there's a lot of bands that are like siblings, and I always say to them, I'm like, I don't know, if I was on tour with my siblings, I'd probably kill them all.
We do good. We get along pretty good, but we do get at each other sometimes. It's
a little bit
inevitable.
well, you know what? When you've known each other that long and been best friends that long, it's different. Like my best bro of life since 13, he passed away a couple years ago, but me and him were like peas in the pod in high school, and as we got older, we got different, but we still stayed like brothers. Like his parents were like parents to me. My dad was like a dad to him, and we considered each other brothers. And there were things we agreed on, things we disagreed on, but like you like embrace the differences because you have that connection that you've always you know, and I think that's what makes making great music too. If you were both exactly the same, I think that would make the music boring, because each of you bringing something to the table that can appeal to more people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And somebody that can tell you, hey, you're being a douche, or no, that song doesn't work at all, and you don't get offended by it. Like when it's your best friend that does it, like that you've known that long, it's almost like, okay, maybe I better listen. Like anybody, I know that's the case with me. Like anybody else tells me, I'm like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. My bro used to say something, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I better think about that.
Yeah, definitely.
So you'd say that's how your writing process is too, right? Like you feed off each other in that way, both in agreement, but disagreement too.
Yeah, essentially, like I'll start with making some guitar riffs and starting like the skeleton of a song. I'll come and show it to Andrew, and he'll tell me if he likes the parts, likes the way the song's flowing. If not, he'll show me how to change it, maybe tell me how I could change this riff or add a part in here and there. And then we'll add the drums in and then just kind of go from there and tweak it as we need to, you know?
Yep.
But we work together, and if he doesn't like something, then I'll see if I can fix it to where we're both in agreement with it, you know? It's not just one way or the other. We prefer if we're both agree on everything and to have it be one-sided.
Yep, so. And if we both just don't like it, then we come to an agreement and we make it known to each other. We don't just keep it if we don't like it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the problems with bands that blow up like after a period of time, because they never talk to each other. They never say what they're really feeling.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, exactly. It all
I
gets
mean,
built up inside, and then they just, it's like
yeah,
it's a
kind of
whole
like
other
kind of like
animal.
Perry Farrell, kind of like Perry Farrell. That's what I think happened. It was like whatever was bothering Perry and Dave blew up that night, and that's what happens when you don't talk it out and hold shit in and just not say your piece. So
Yeah.
bravo,
Exactly.
bravo to you guys, like, to be able to communicate. I think it's so key to communicate properly to make great music, and so I also want to know, I'm always fascinated by bands that have been around for a while and then they come out with their self-titled album. What was the thought process there? Because that's your most recent album, is the self-titled one, but you've been around forever now.
Yeah. So what happened with that was we wrote all these songs back in 2020 during COVID when there was nothing going on. And it took us, I don't know, 3 to 4 years to be able to even get into a studio to get them recorded. All of
Yeah.
those songs, they're like completely different from each other, all different topics and things. It doesn't have like a theme or anything to it. So when we were recording the album and putting everything together, trying to find a name for the album, nothing seemed to fit because every song is different.
Yeah, we really struggled with that.
There wasn't an overarching theme for anything of it. They're just all
So it's
different.
just Gravewitch.
Exactly. So that's why we call it Gravewitch, because it's pretty much just showcasing our style in a bunch of different songs. So that's why we decided to go with that.
It's interesting too. Like I said during that whole COVID thing, if you're going to take one good thing out of COVID for music, is that it gave artists like you guys and everybody else the chance to jump off the hamster wheel and just create without all the noise,
Definitely.
and I definitely felt like some of the best music that'll ever come is coming out of that time. And your album is a perfect example of that, because like, as an old school metalhead from the beginning of all this stuff, you guys with this album and the music on it could fit in the 80s no problem. And that's
Awesome.
that's a big compliment,
That's
because
huge. Thank you.
Yeah,
Wow.
you definitely have it down. And I think what it is like, that's what was cool about COVID. You had the time to stop and just get creative again. It's almost like, I don't know, I think musicians, and a lot of friends of mine are musicians, they agree that like they found the passion again that they lost because you're on this hamster wheel that isn't fun at times.
Mm-hmm.
So tell everybody how they reach out to you guys on socials, on the web, how they get your albums, how they get your merch, check out when you're going to be playing places, all that great stuff.
We are pretty active on posting to our Facebook pages and our Instagram accounts. Another good way to find our merch is to search Gravewitch on Bandcamp. We have our merch up there. Soon we will be updating it and putting more of our shirts on there. And we'll be updating shipping information and everything else. For our music, you can stream us on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, Pandora, anywhere. And you can find our music videos for Mistress of Hate and Damnable Evil, along with Circle of Power from our first album, The Summoning, up on YouTube right now. Oh, yeah. We also have vinyls that our record label, Rock Sun Records, helped us acquire. And physical copies will be available at our merch table, and soon we will also be getting them up on Bandcamp as well. We just need to go in and figure out the shipping info.
I love it. It's so wild to me how vinyl is so big now. Like my grandson, okay, he collects vinyl. Just found out my granddaughter collects vinyl. Like,
that's amazing.
They're both like, you would think they wouldn't want vinyl at all, because they're both growing up in this age I was actually in shock because I took my granddaughter to get a vinyl album at the store recently, It was $36. I was like, holy crap, $36 for vinyl. I'm like, I told her, I'm like, you could come to my house and I got stacks of vinyl, some that's not even open, that you can see the price tag on it where it was like $2.99.
Wow, man.
Like I could imagine when I was a teenager buying vinyl for $36. It was enough to scrape together whatever I needed to scrape together to get even a demo tape.
Yeah,
You know. But man, it is kind of cool. I have this one vinyl of a band I interviewed at a festival recently. Like what they do with the vinyl is so amazing. It has like their blood actually in the vinyl.
Wow.
Whoa,
that's
Like
that is sweet.
so like it's kind of wild what's going on nowadays. But you like the fact that my grandkids are collecting vinyl, that just says a lot to me. And it says to me that maybe, just maybe, music is making a comeback opposed to the let me listen to 10 seconds and move on to the next track.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like
We like to listen to the full album usually, especially if it's a good one.
That front to back, hell yeah.
oh, no doubt, no doubt. And like I even get into times now where like something's going on where I'll just go through the whole catalog of one band from the first album to the last and just listen straight through to all of them. You know, it's like there's some anniversary. Oh, well, then I better listen to all the albums, you know.
Especially like musicians that passed away, you know, it's like you gotta do that.
Right. And like, listen, part of the experience that I think kids are missing today that maybe now they're getting back because of this resurgence is I remember sitting on my balcony, I'd buy an album, I would put it on, put the headphones on, I would look at all the artwork, I'd read all the lyrics, like I would just totally immerse in it. And the thought of even changing a track didn't even occur to me because I was in there for the whole thing. Like imagine listening to Dark Side of the Moon, only a track or, you know, a couple seconds and then skipping to another song.
Yeah, that doesn't do you any justice.
Right. And so, you know, I mean, I think all of the art is a super immersive experience. And especially nowadays when we have so much bullshit going on, we need the escape of music. And that's what happens with an album. You escape in the album and who cares about anything else?
Yeah, that's more important now than ever. Seriously.
Exactly.
No doubt. So thankful for bands like you that are putting out albums where we could do that. And especially like your namesake album. I mean, the fact that it's got so many different types of songs on it makes me want to listen to a whole album because you don't know what's coming next.
Yeah, for sure. That's
Hell
cool.
yeah.
So any final words, things you want to say to anybody that we haven't covered already that they need to know that's going on with you guys in 2026?
We're just kind of working behind the scenes, getting new music written. We are working on releasing 3 singles between no time date yet, but between this second album and third album, we want to release 3 more singles before we put out another full album.
Nice. Cool.
Been writing a lot of music. We have about, besides the 3 singles, I think we have 6 or 7 songs for a third album so far. Probably write 4 or 5 more maybe and try to hit the studio and get it out within another year or so if possible. So
very cool. Well, you guys rock, and thanks for making us such great music, and thanks for being on the adventures of Pipeman.
It is a pleasure, man. Thank you for having us. It has been a pleasure to talk to you, man.
I love hearing that because I think as if I were the musician, you know, getting interviewed. And sometimes, like when I do the festivals, I'll listen to some of the other people. I'm like, oh my God, I would be like shooting myself right now if I was the artist. Like, you got to make it fun and interesting. Like, you guys are artists. It's not, this is the business side of it. Don't make it the business way. You know, it's like,
have fun with it. Be creative.
Exactly. Let it take a life of its own. That's my viewpoint, you know?
Yeah.
And then that's when you find out the gold. That's when you find, and that's when the band is into it. Like nothing would kill me worse than if I saw in the eyes of the band while I'm interviewing that they're just not into it. Like, this is supposed to be fun for all of us. That's what music's about. And that's what you guys are about. So I love it.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Dude, thank you so much.
My pleasure. You guys rock. Take it easy.
You too, man. Take care. Have a happy new year.
You too.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.